Barrier to interview day. Why is the interview day a potential barrier?
Well, interview says it, doesn't it? You know, interviews are things at which people are sometimes turned down. It doesn't happen very often in the voluntary sector. I was quite surprised that voluntary groups don't like to say no, charities don't like to say no, that can be the outcome of the interview. If you're recruiting volunteers to work with people with mental health problems or victims of abuse, then you've got to be very careful who you select, and some people may be turned down. In fact, not that many organisations do interview people. I think they prefer sort of informal chats, but a decision often will have to be made at the end of that chat as to whether the volunteer will continue or not.
Okay, and
I should say though that I think a lot more happens on interview day than the interview. Because people turn up for interview, well, they may be approaching the building for the very first time, so they're taking a look at the building. Is it welcoming? Is it attractive? And then as they step through the door, does somebody come and meet them, say, can I help?
So the potential result of the barrier for the volunteer is?
Well, agencies don't have to say yes or no to volunteers that day. Sometimes people are given a yes if verdict. Yes, you can join us if you go through the induction phase with us, because if the roles are very sophisticated and the clients are quite vulnerable, it might take some weeks before a decision is made. People might say no, but, so you're not actually finally turning away the person, but you say, I don't think you're suited to us, but I can think of a group that might suit you better. Or, if you'd like to go back to the volunteer centre, that might help too.
Right.
Or it could be a yes provided. Yes, we'll take you on, provided you get a bit more experience or undergo some sort of training that we can recommend to you. So there are a number of verdicts, if I can put it that way, that the agency can offer to the volunteer.
Do you think many organisations would actually say no, or would say perhaps you should go back to the volunteer centre?
I think quite a lot too. Or they might say to the volunteer, you'd be great for role A, but we're advertising for role B. So I think it's getting people into the right niche for them.
Right.
That's a difficulty. And of course it's very difficult, I think, to say no to people without them feeling damaged or distraught. A woman said to me the other day, she said, I was turned down by a voluntary group for humiliation. And she laughed about it, and she's obviously taken it quite well. But I got her point. She was a volunteer, but she's still been turned down. So it's important those messages, I think, are delivered sensitively. You know, this isn't the end of the world. It doesn't mean you can never volunteer. But maybe we can find you a group better than us that would suit you better.
Okay. Because as you say, interview day or informal chat day is make or break in terms of going forwards. Okay.